Imagine this. You're sitting alone in a quiet room, your mind racing with ideas, questions, visions that no one else seems to see. The world around you hums with chatter, distractions and small talk, but your mind is elsewhere, mapping possibilities, unearthing truths, noticing patterns that others miss. And yet, as your thoughts deepen, as your awareness expands, you feel it, a subtle shift in the way people look at you. Friends who once laughed with you begin to drift away. Colleagues stop inviting you to lunch. Even the people you love seem uncomfortable with the intensity of your mind. There's a disconnect, a quiet distance that grows with every insight, every moment of reflection. And in that loneliness, a question emerges: am I too much for this world? Carl Jung understood this better than anyone. He warned that deep thinking is not just an intellectual pursuit, it is a journey into the self that can disrupt the rhythms of ordinary life. The mind that questions relentlessly, that probes beneath the surface of social comfort, does not always fit neatly into the patterns of everyday connection. People are drawn to comfort, to simplicity, to the familiar. They fear the depth they cannot comprehend. And so, the thinker becomes an island, a solitary lighthouse in a sea of easy answers, misunderstood, and even feared for the clarity of their insight. But here's the truth. Your depth is not a flaw. Your intensity is not a mistake. The very thoughts that push people away are the thoughts that will define your life, your purpose, your legacy. The solitude you feel is not rejection. It is refinement. It is the furnace where your mind is tempered, where your vision becomes sharper, your courage becomes unwavering, and your soul becomes resilient. Every moment of isolation is a chance to understand yourself more fully, to cultivate the inner power that ordinary comfort can never give. Think about every great mind in history, the innovators, the philosophers, the artists who reshaped the world. They were often alone before they were celebrated. They were misunderstood before they were revered. Nietzsche wandered the streets, wrestling with truths most could not bear. Jung himself retreated into the depths of his own psyche, confronting shadows and fears that most would never dare to face. Their loneliness was not punishment. It was the cost of creating something extraordinary. And your mind, with all its depth, is walking the same path. You must embrace this truth. Being deeply thoughtful, deeply aware, deeply alive, comes with sacrifice. The shallow bonds of casual friendship may falter. Conversations that once felt effortless may become strained. People may label you aloof, judgmental, or difficult. But these labels are meaningless in the face of growth. Every insight you uncover, every layer of understanding you peel back, brings you closer to your authentic self. Every moment alone, every night spent in reflection, is a step toward the person you were born to be. And here is the most electrifying part. The very isolation that frightens you is preparing you for a level of life most will never experience. It is the forge where courage is built, clarity is sharpened, and purpose is crystallized. Your mind is not a cage, it is a cathedral. And inside that cathedral, your ideas, your creativity, your truth are free to soar without limits. The world may not yet understand you, but that is temporary. Every moment of perceived loneliness is an investment in the future, where your thoughts, your vision, your depth will attract exactly the right people, exactly the right opportunities, exactly the life that matches the brilliance of your mind. So do not shrink. Do not apologize for thinking too much, feeling too deeply, dreaming too vividly. Let the world drift away, if it must. Let the noise fade. Step fully into your mind. Own your solitude. Because in the quiet of your own awareness, in the brilliance of your deep thought, you are not lonely. You are alive. You are powerful. You are the architect of your destiny. And every wall that rises between you and the world is not a barrier. It is a gateway to a life only the fearless, the visionary, the bold can ever claim. The deeper you think, the more you see. Because clarity comes with a price. It is not immediately obvious, but every profound insight you gain carries consequences. The world is built for comfort, for distraction, for simple answers. Most people seek connection through ease, through laughter, through the reassurance of saneness. And when your mind refuses to settle, when it probes, questions, and illuminates truths others avoid, something happens. You begin to feel it. The subtle distancing, the small withdrawals of attention, the awkward silences that never existed before. Deep thinking does not fit neatly into casual conversation, and suddenly you realize that the cost of awareness is often solitude. Think about it. Every time you notice an uncomfortable truth about life, about people, about yourself, you shift. You can no longer pretend that everything is fine, that mediocrity is enough, that shallow solutions will satisfy. And while this awareness is liberating, it also isolates you. Friends may stop calling because your conversations have grown too heavy. Colleagues may avoid you because your perspective challenges their comfort. Even family, bound by routine and expectation, may resist the intensity of your mind. And in those moments when the world seems to lean away, the question arises, am I too aware, too sensitive, too different? Here's the psychological truth. It's not that you are too much, it's that you are ahead. Jung called this the tension between the inner world and the outer world. Your inner landscape is rich, expansive, and alive. You see patterns, understand motives, detect meaning where others only see noise. And yet the outer world, the one filled with casual chatter, convenience, and complacency, cannot always follow. People are not wrong for feeling discomfort. They are simply unprepared for the depth you carry. And this is precisely why deep thinkers are often misunderstood, misjudged, or even feared. But here is the power hidden in this reality. The very isolation you fear is an invitation. It is an opportunity to refine yourself, to build inner strength, and to understand the nature of true connection. When casual friendships falter, you learn to value quality over quantity. When conversations feel strained, you discover how to communicate with precision and impact. When others misunderstand, you begin to trust your own judgment above popular opinion. Solitude becomes not a punishment, but a classroom, a place where you cultivate resilience, sharpen insight, and strengthen character. There are practical ways to harness this truth. When the world seems to push back, lean inward. Journal your thoughts not to hide them, but to clarify them. Reflect without judgment, observing patterns in your own thinking and behavior. Seek mentors, ox, or communities that resonate with your depth. Places where your ideas are not only understood, but celebrated. By doing this, you transform what feels like alienation into power. Every moment of perceived loneliness becomes a stepping stone toward mastery of self, toward a life aligned with purpose, toward relationships that are authentic rather than convenient. And here is the ultimate motivation. Those who embrace this hidden cost will emerge stronger, sharper, and more magnetic. The world may resist your awareness now, but clarity is contagious. Truth has a way of demanding recognition. The insights you uncover, the understanding you cultivate, the courage you build. These are your tools to shape not just your life, but the lives of those who are ready to meet you on your level. Isolation is temporary, vision is enduring. So embrace the tension. Feel the weight of awareness and let it strengthen, not diminish, you. Let every moment of misunderstanding ignite your resolve. Let every withdrawal, every silence, every glance of discomfort be a reminder that you are walking a path few dare to tread. Deep thinking is not a luxury. It is a responsibility. And with responsibility comes the power to rise above superficial connection and step into relationships, communities, and opportunities that honor your depth. See it for what it is. A training ground, a proving ground, a place where your mind, heart, and spirit become unbreakable. The hidden cost of deep thinking is not a curse. It is the seed of mastery, the foundation of purpose, the quiet force that prepares you to leave a mark that mere comfort can never achieve. You are not alone in this journey. You are chosen by your own consciousness to walk it with courage, clarity, and unstoppable resolve. Isolation is not a punishment. It is a crucible. It is the fire that tempers the steel of your the quiet space where greatness is born. Every moment spent alone, every glance of misunderstanding from the world, every time your thoughts outpace those around you, is not a barrier. It is a signal. It is saying, you are on the path few dare to walk. You are being prepared for something larger than comfort. You are being refined. The solitude that once felt heavy can now be your greatest ally. Because when you learn to wield your alone time, to master it, to use it intentionally, it transforms from loneliness into unstoppable power. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming your truest, most authentic self. It is not about fitting into the world. It is about fitting yourself to your own vision of life. And individuation requires solitude, deep reflection, and the courage to face your own thoughts, your own fears, your own shadows. In these moments, you discover your values, your instincts, your untapped reservoirs of strength. Every thought you process in silence, every insight you nurture in the absence of distraction, builds clarity, confidence, and resilience. You become a force that no external misunderstanding can diminish. This transformation begins with choice. You do not have to be a victim of isolation. You do not have to allow misunderstanding or withdrawal to weaken your spirit. Instead, embrace it. Turn solitude into a deliberate practice, a daily ritual that empowers you. Walk alone through nature, letting your mind roam free. Journal relentlessly, mapping the intricate patterns of your thoughts and ideas. Meditate not merely to calm the mind, but to illuminate it, to explore the depths of your own consciousness without fear. Create in silence, write, paint, design, or innovate, because creation is the ultimate alchemy of thought into reality. Every moment spent in these practices is a moment you are forging yourself into, someone unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. And here is the extraordinary truth. The isolation that once frightened you now becomes a magnet for the right people and opportunities. Not everyone can keep up with a mind that seeks depth, clarity, and meaning. Not everyone can understand the intensity of insight that burns within you. But those who are ready, those who match your courage, your vision, your awareness, will gravitate toward you naturally. Your solitude does not repel the world. It filters it. It ensures that the people who remain in your life are those who elevate you, challenge you, and respect the power of your mind. Every moment of quiet reflection strengthens your presence, your magnetism, your ability to attract the connections that truly matter. Transformation also requires perspective. Understand that temporary isolation is not failure. It is preparation. It is the rehearsal before the performance, the sharpening before the strike, the silent stretching before the sprint. Many fear being alone, fear being misunderstood, fear being too much. But fear is a signpost. It is a marker of the threshold you are crossing. Every discomfort you feel in isolation is evidence that your mind is growing, that your awareness is expanding, that your life is moving beyond the ordinary into the extraordinary. And here is the final, electrifying truth. Power is not given. Power is claimed. Power is created in the spaces where others avoid, in the silence where others chatter, in the reflection where others scroll and distract themselves. Your mind is your domain. Your thoughts are your arsenal. Your insight is your weapon. Use isolation not as a retreat, but as a launch pad. Every idea you nurture, every strategy you conceive, every bit of self-knowledge you cultivate in solitude propels you closer to mastery over your life, over your work, over your destiny. So step into your power, stand firm in your alone time, celebrate it. Let every hour of reflection remind you that you are not weak, you are not lost, you are leading. You are not missing out. You are preparing to rise to heights that will astonish those who doubted you. Isolation is not the enemy. It is your greatest teacher, your most loyal mentor, your secret source of strength. And when you finally step back into the world, you do not just return. You arrive. You arrive as someone sharper, more magnetic, more alive than you ever imagined possible. Depth without connection can feel like a weight, a brilliant mind trapped in a world that doesn't understand it. But here's the secret. Insight does not have to isolate you. You do not have to sacrifice relationships to be profound. The key lies in how you translate your depth into a language the world can receive without diluting your brilliance. Communication is not just speaking, it is bridge building, influence, and transformation. And once you master it, you transform from a solitary thinker into a magnetic presence whose ideas inspire, challenge, and move people forward. The first step is intentionality. Every thought, every insight, every truth you carry must be delivered with purpose, not as an obligation to prove your intelligence, but as a gift to those who are ready to hear it. Too often deep thinkers overwhelm, drowning others in ideas before the listener is prepared. Instead, curate your sharing. Offer one seed of thought at a time. Plant it carefully, allow it to take root, and let curiosity grow naturally. Your depth becomes a spark, not a storm. The world does not resist clarity, it resists force. Learn to guide, not to push. Second, listen as intensely as you think. Depth is seductive when paired with empathy. Ask questions before giving answers. Seek to understand before being understood. By tuning into the perspectives, fears, and needs of others, you create a space where your insight can land without breaking them. You create dialogue, not monologue. You create curiosity, not resistance. Remember, influence is not about overwhelming. It is about awakening. Every pause, every inquiry, every moment of patient attention amplifies the power of your ideas. It signals that your depth is not a weapon. It is an invitation. Third, embrace storytelling. Ideas, no matter how brilliant, become alive only when they resonate. Facts and philosophies alone can alienate. Stories connect. Wrap your insights in narrative. Use emotion, imagery, and personal experience to translate abstract concepts into experiences others can feel. When people see themselves in your words, when they feel your insight in their own lives, your depth stops intimidating and starts inspiring. Your solitude, your reflection, your intellectual rigor, all of it becomes a source of influence, a force that lifts others rather than isolating them. Fourth, master timing. There is a rhythm to depth, a car, dense to profound thought. Sometimes the world is ready, sometimes it is not. Share your truths when the soil is fertile, when curiosity is awake, when minds are open. Pushing ideas into the wrong moment can create resistance. Patience is not passivity. It is power in disguise. Every insight, delivered at the right moment, lands with authority, impact, and resonance. Your depth becomes irresistible when it respects the tempo of connection. And finally, embody what you think. The most magnetic communicators are not always the most verbose. They are the most authentic. Your life, your choices, your integrity, and your courage broadcast your depth more loudly than words ever could. People will sense it, they will feel it. Your solitude, your reflection, your inner mastery, they all shine outward when you act with consistency and purpose. Depth without action alienates. Depth in motion captivates. Let this sink in. Your mind, your insights, your profound understanding of life does not have to isolate you. It can inspire, attract, and transform. Every thought, every reflection, every revelation you cultivate in solitude can now ripple outward, touching the right people, the right opportunities, the right moments. Communication is the bridge between your inner genius and the world's understanding. And when you build it with patience, empathy, and authenticity, your depth no longer creates distance. It creates magnetism. So step forward boldly. Speak, not to impress, but to illuminate. Share, not to dominate, but to awaken. Let your thoughts flow in harmony with the hearts and minds of those around you. Transform your isolation into influence, your reflection into resonance, your brilliance into connection. You do not have to dim your mind to belong. You must only learn to translate it. Depth is not a barrier, it is a superpower. And, when wielded with mastery, it does not push the world away. It draws it toward the light only you can shine. Now, take a deep breath and let this truth settle into your bones. The journey of depth, the pursuit of insight, the courage to think, feel, and see beyond the surface. It is yours. Every moment of solitude, every ounce of misunderstanding, every glance of doubt or judgment you have faced is not a punishment. It is the proof that you are awake. It is evidence that you are walking a path few dare to tread. And this path, as lonely as it may feel at times, is the only road that leads to mastery, to influence, to a life of meaning that echoes far beyond ordinary existence. You have seen how deep thinking can create distance, how profound insight can intimidate, how solitude can feel like exile. But now you understand something even more powerful. None of this is a limitation. It is a training ground. Every moment you have spent wrestling with your own mind, every hour of reflection, every thought that challenged the ordinary, has been a step toward the person you were born to become. You are not broken for thinking too deeply. You are not flawed for feeling too intensely. You are not lost for seeking truths that others avoid. You are alive, and alive with purpose, with vision, with power that cannot be denied. The world may resist your awareness at first. People may misunderstand you. Opportunities may seem scarce, relationships may falter, and the noise of shallow living may try to pull you off course. But let this be your mantra. Clarity is magnetic, courage is contagious, depth is irresistible. What feels like isolation today is preparation for the life you are meant to claim tomorrow. Your mind, your insight, your vision, they are the compass, the fuel, and the weapon that will guide you past mediocrity into greatness. You are not wandering, you are ascending, and here is the action you must take. Own you, depth. Do not apologize for thinking too much. Do not shrink from the intensity of your awareness. Do not dim your ideas to fit the comfort of others. Step fully into the brilliance of your mind. Reflect daily. Question relentlessly. Create unapologetically. Let your solitude be sacred, your focus unshakable, your courage unwavering. Every insight you nurture, every truth you confront, every thought you dare to explore, builds a foundation no distraction, no criticism, no fleeting judgment can shake. You are the architect of your consciousness and the architect of your destiny. But owning your depth is not only about your inner world, it is about how you move through the outer world with intention. Let your thoughts guide your actions. Let your insight shape your decisions. Let your integrity radiate in every relationship, every interaction, every choice you make. Surround yourself with those who honor your mind, challenge your thinking, and ignite your ambition. Seek mentors, allies, and communities that resonate with your vision. And let go of those who resist, dismiss, or diminish your brilliance. Life is too short to compromise the power of your awareness for the comfort of others. The final truth is this: you were born to live deeply, to see clearly, and to act boldly. Your mind, your heart, your soul, they are instruments of transformation. What once felt like distance now becomes leverage. What once felt like loneliness now becomes freedom. What once felt like challenge now becomes your strength. Stand tall in your depth. Walk with confidence in your solitude. Speak with courage, act with clarity, and create with conviction. Because the world does not need you small, it needs you fully awake, fully alive, and fully uncompromising in your brilliance. So take this moment. Claim your thoughts. Claim your vision. Claim your life. Every reflection, every insight, every act of courage is a declaration. You will not dim. You will not conform. You will not settle. You are the thinker, the visionary, the creator, the force that refuses to be ignored. And the world in its time will bend toward the light of your awareness. Stand tall, rise fully, and let your depth ignite everything in its path. Your mind is your power. Your depth is your destiny. Own it.